Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we got a few little updates we need to share about products and cards and things of that nature. And I'm going to start off by showing you this Sandile. And then this picture of me with 3 of these Sandile. There's a reason I'm showing you this Sandile. Can anyone spot what it is? There's something pretty interesting and pretty different and pretty important about this Sandile. What if I put it side by side with a regular version of this same Sandile? Yes, the languages are different. The one I showed you initially is in Portuguese and this one is in English. More importantly, and I'm sure most of you have spotted this by now, got no energy symbols? There are no energy symbols on this Sandile. And I assure you, there are supposed to be energy symbols on this Sandile. Now, from what I can figure out, from what I can see, it is only the Portuguese version which has been impacted, and the image of me with them actually comes from when I was in Stuttgart this past weekend, casting the regional championships there, and I was chatting to somebody, and somebody else walked up, and we were chatting about this Sandile, and they went, "Oh, I have that Sandile," and just pulled 3 of them out. It's a huge misprint. Here's the thing, though. On the one hand, this makes this card quite collectible and quite sought after, because it is a Sandile that has no energy symbols on. On the other hand, from what we can tell, it seems to be this is what happened to the Portuguese Sandile. It's not like 1 in 50 of these has a misprint and now all of a sudden everyone's chasing the misprints. You know, you buy a few packs of Portuguese Pokemon, you're probably going to pull one of these. So, yeah. I mean, go and buy a Portuguese box, you'll probably buy a few of them. They're going to come out of packs pretty easily, one would imagine. I don't know, I can't promise. But from what I can see, and I've done a little bit of digging into this, it seems to only be the Portuguese Sandile, and it seems to be all of the Portuguese Sandile. And I know there's going to be people out there that are desperate to turn this into the next big super valuable misprint card. Fine, I guess. But in reality, it's a common card which just has a misprint seemingly across all of them. And it is misprinted compared to all the other languages, and that's kind of cool. But, look, we did this with Cinderace a little while ago, when all of the English Cinderace were printed with the wrong retreat cost, and everybody tried turning it into a thing, and tried making it really expensive. And I'm just saying, is there any way we could avoid doing that again? And if we could avoid doing that again, honestly, that would be wonderful. That would make me really happy. But it's a cool little misprint that you guys need to know about, so I figured we'd come on here and have a chat and I'd tell you all about it. Sound like a plan? Excellent. Now, there's something else which is going on, and it's all to do with that Paldean Fates product I showed you the other day. That ridiculous product that honestly makes absolutely no sense, because we are long past the window for releasing Paldean Fates products, but nobody really cared because we all want more Paldean Fates. And for me personally, Great Tusken Iron Treads, I adore them. They were one of the best things about Scarlet and Violet. And I do mean that very sincerely. So, you know, less arguing, more just celebrating that they're coming. Wonderful. The thing is, this box I showed you the other day is a lie. And I didn't mean to lie to you. I didn't try to lie to you. My intent was not to lie to you. But I ended up lying to you regardless. And I'm sorry. Take this video as my apology. Because thanks to the lovely DJ Gigabyte, the lovely Dan Norton, very lovely person, been a friend for years, and they are a very lovely person, I can confirm, they went and shared this image. Well, you might notice that actually these cards I'm showing you here are not the same cards that I showed you on that promo image the other day. They are significantly different. They've got a new stamp. Cool. But actually, that's kind of awesome. Also, and I'll show you the two EXs here just as a quick example, Dan has also confirmed to us that essentially the texturing is a little bit different, especially because the logo doesn't actually have texturing on. So what that means is that they're kind of textured up to and including the set logo, but then after the set logo, they're not actually textured anymore, which does make them a little bit different, and that is an important note. So, yeah, they've got set symbols on, which is something we weren't expecting. And I don't think it would have been fair to expect them, because why would we? They weren't on the promo image. You know, we got Paldean Fate's logo sitting there on the EXs. They were from Paldean Fates after all. And then the regular cards have got Temporal Forces logos because, of course, they are from Temporal Forces. And I've made this point before, but I'm going to make it again now because I do think it's very important. It makes me a little bit sad. Because in Temporal Forces, we actually had two different versions of Great Tusk. We had this one, which gets reprinted with the set symbol, and then we had this one with Land Collapse, which could mill forecast your opponent every turn, which has actually proven to be a semi-legit deck in certain metagames. That's by far the better Great Tusk. I don't really mind about Iron Treads, partly because there was only one of them in Temporal Forces anyway, and partly because, look, Great Tusk had that one and it was cool. I think it's fair to say that Iron Treads has not had a good card yet. I'm sorry, I want it to. I think Iron Treads is awesome, but no. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, no. And it's worth just confirming here that yes, the Jumbo does also have the set logo on, the Paldean Fates logo. And essentially, what this means is this product just became even cooler. Because we all wanted it anyway. It's got Paldean Fates packs. It doesn't just have a couple. It has 11 Paldean Fates packs and is released when Paldean Fates is basically gone and really hard to find. So giving us 11 packs of Paldean Fates in any product right now and putting it at a sensible retail price is going to make the fans and the players and the collectors and everybody else happy. Now we've actually got different cards. Yeah, that's just making it. And look, they're not very different. That's not the point. The point is they are different enough that some collectors are going to want them. If you're keeping a Paldean Fates Master Collection, you are going to need these cards. Or a Temporal Forces Master Collection for that matter as well. It's also interesting to me because one of my main theories here, and I do think this was a fair theory, is that Pokemon essentially had a bunch of Paldean Fates tins left over. Because remember, with Paldean Fates, there were 3 different tins. We had the Charizard tin, and then we had Great Tusk and Iron Treads. So, if you went to shops around that time, and I'm sure many of us did, you would have seen a very familiar story, which was, we've got as many Great Tusk and Iron Treads tins as you want. No, of course I don't have any Charizard. We're long sold out of the Charizard. So my theory here was that they had a bunch of these tins that essentially hadn't sold. So one way to do it is to take the promos, repackage them with a bunch of packs, get a jumbo in there, just something a little bit different and unique, and, you know, far enough away from the release of the set, and then really make this a top-tier product. But the fact that they've got logos on means that Pokemon have actually gone out of their way to reprint these cards with the logo, and I think there's something pretty cool about that. That Pokemon have actually gone out of their way to make these new promo cards, because they're different from the ones in the tin now. The tin promos are like they always were. These are those with the stamp on, which makes them a little bit different. Regardless, I do think this is the kind of product which is going to be picked up by everyone that can, because oh my goodness, look at it. But between these getting the logos we weren't expecting, and then Sandile being printed without energy symbols, but only as a Portuguese card, there's some weird stuff going on in Pokemon, and I like to share this stuff with ya. But I have now, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of this in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Zarek Paris, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.